Anyway, it's a great app. I like the app, but it kicks me off. Oh, anyways, it works. um, I don't know if it makes a difference if for the Wi-Fi, but anyway, I love this app, so I'm not gonna knock the app. The app is turns out to be better. Like it works both ways. It works very well. Whether whichever if I use Stream Key or no, I was always worried. Like I use some apps, and I'm telling you, like nothing was going on. It was like in the middle of space. So yeah, this app is doing everything that I can do just by going live through the YouTube channel. I just like it because I'm able to also share. I can prepare for an actual show, and so that's important to me. Hmm. I want to hold on. How long? Okay, I can hang out for another 30 minutes because it usually doesn't. I don't know. Today might just be a calm day for me because I was very busy yesterday. Actually, I have most of my readings done, so it may be a little calmer today, which is nice. I can accept that. But on the other hand, yeah, I could actually just talk at you guys. I could, and yeah, and just kind of like let you guys just get the information. So I guess I have to figure out a way. Figure out. So that one is for teaching. I probably need to spend more time getting used to that. Just speaking with you, kind of like at you. But I like to say like knowledge sharing, then rather than speaking at you. But I like reading the chat. It's just sometimes I'm not sure, like if the person is being real. So that's if they just just wanting just to browse. But I'm going to do better at getting to those comments. Hmm. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna work on it. So for now, it kind of takes. It's like 3 minutes. It took last time it took somewhere in the third minute for you all to catch on. So there's that. Um, yeah, I'm pushing the needle up again. So yeah, I'm back once again. Oh, there you are. Yeah, it takes about 3 minutes. I came back. Hello. Good to speak to you all. Uh-huh. I am just here. Yes, I am here. Well, many blessings, with light and love. This can, November, wow, November, December, that's, we think of those who have, come before us, who helped us get here. Yes, they're passing. Um, yes, but that's why spirituality, like understanding like the other side. Okay, I'm a medium, right? And the idea that they are still present, they are a frequency, they're an energy. The science says they're more like neutrinos. The spirit world. The neutrinos are like it's like the miracle. It's a science way of saying miracle, basically. And the little one, that sort of goes off and do something that, yes, it can be the event can be predicted because why I fell in love with that part of the science because it's talking about prediction. So I'm thinking, oh, they're talking about prediction like psychic predictions. So that's the way it computes in my brain. But yes, neutrino is actually, a thing. It's a, it's like it's a particle that is unique, does its own thing, and they can predict. Like it's like energy that sort of particles that like sort of like break away. That's what they're referring it to as, and it becomes. It doesn't. It's just like energy that it didn't disappear. Instead, it became something, and that's what they call it. That's what I was. Well, at least that's what the book says. Like I've got my notes over there. I won't. I won't bore you. I'm fascinated by it, and you're like, yeah, I already did that. I'm fascinated by it since yesterday. Okay, that's the. I'm like, I can understand it. I can understand it. But I'm thinking he's talking to me as a psychic, not as as a fellow, theorist in high mathematics, but in physics. But so yes. Well, anyways, oh, what I'm trying to say is, and like they like just like it says, energy is always around. It can transform. It can become something else, but it's always present. And the same energies that that's here since I would like to think in anyone's time in history, that energy is still here. That same energy is still here. Of course, it can become other forms of energy, but it's the energy in itself. Well, it becomes something of a force. If it's a force, then it can, it's become something different. But the energy itself is still present here, except when they say like well, what about the spirit? The spirit world. So when you connect with that other side and you really feel like the other side is just right here, right beside us, you have a different take, especially when you start getting to know, like, like angels. I know you guys hate my dreaded guides, guides, like might as well say aliens. Um, if you want to say angels or spirits, hopefully the good. We talk about the good kind. So it's like once you start feeling like you're finding your way around. I would like to say it's like there's like this story. It continues. This story is not an ending. But I mean, there's a lot of things, yes, like bucket list wise, you want to do on this plane in this dimension. Also, the same author talks about multiple dimensions and pocket dimensions. So I'm already fascinated. I'm like, ooh, you know, I like quantum time. Talk about I believe that spirit is this, like if you say what is spirit, what is the element of spirit, my thought was, I'm gonna take a crack at it, I'm gonna take a gander at it. I think it's time. I think that spirit or the breath is time, and that the eternal time, that time just comes back, and becomes where, as I said, so something so beyond time and dimension that it becomes like once again part of the infinite, something else. Like it does no like our sense of time no longer is applied. So I don't see passing, like, I guess maybe the first thoughts of what death was, like visiting a funeral the first time in your life, and you're looking and you're like, yeah, nobody's home. No one's there. But it's like, I hope you are a butterfly and there is more to this. Because, yeah, that is, well, I'm not going to draw an opinion. But anyway, all right. It says, whew, she got, yeah, that happens, right? Oh my gosh, that so happens. Things. People cross over in the most like there's so many ways they say so many ways to cross over. And you know so I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I think about like just what if the what ifs. And my thing is, in any way, shape, or form you think about it, like the moment you start describing the slowing of the breath, you start losing me. I'm like, is there a fail safe where you can skip that part? It's like the idea of paralysis in addition to like there's something inside mentally you're like I'm not breathing, you know, yeah, or like choking on something, and but again you like all your like involuntary organs you know are involuntary, like you're not volunteering, they're doing the things you don't want them to be doing at that time, and your physical reactions of what you can control, like your muscular, like your muscles, your the human innate will to want to survive, like to adjust yourself, sit up straight, open your your cords so that you can take in air, to be removed, that, or like depleted of battery energy. That I start sometimes I'm like, please have a self, like a fail safe, and I'm like where it's like other things start to click away, like spirit goes, and then, then that other part, well, then, slow a breath until, yeah, liberate, truly drew the last breath. But I like to draw the last breath and just be, like sitting, laying back on a pillow, as comfortable as I would be, staring at you, like, hello, I cannot take another breath. So this is what it is. So it's like maybe there's like some simultaneous, like some the fading away, right? Like the fading, and then and then it's like you slip just like in a good way, like a peaceful slipping, and not even thinking like, yeah, the breath is no longer a thing. Like me waiting for my next breath isn't a thing, right? Right here. I, I'm believing in Mother Nature. I think she's got that problem solved. I'm hoping. I'm one of the ones hoping, because I come from the generation where people say, when I do go, I hope it's peaceful in my sleep. But yes, those of us who've been fighting off spirits, since young, and having that sense of, the weight being the weight on the chest, and and the feeling of, not breathing, so. Oh gosh. Anyway, I'm rambling, but yeah, I get it. I get it. You're you are dealing with that. People contact me as a medium, and one thing that they all have in common, they more want to know if the person on the other side, if they like are like, are they satisfied with everything, since having crossed. That's the one, like universally, people always, no matter how they want to know the person crossed over, they always want to know, are they satisfied with what they're doing because they're still here, and are they satisfied with everything that connected them to this world. So yeah, that's what people pretty much want to know. Of course, you get the occasional, you know, um, is the person, are they proud, and or why did they like, the preparations and the ceremony, things like that. hmm But like how a person crossed, oh, that it comes through. Like they always share how they crossed. So I never like need to gather those types of answers. Like I don't ask questions. I don't know if you guys know this about me. When I started reading, and we exchange, pleasantries, I immediately like to dive into the reading. It's like some people like, like natural conversation, like, yeah, how's your day? Is it good? Yeah, it's pretty nice out here. The nice weather, sun's out. Okay, like I'm like, it's like, yeah. Well, the moment we say yes, it's a pretty good day. I'm like, okay, so now where would you like to begin with our reading today? I can just jump right on in, but I don't want to confuse anybody. So I'm saying you can also, help direct. I love when you all. So, but I found a way to say I love when you all help direct the reading to get to the answers that you're looking for today that will benefit you most. That's how I word it, because I'm more like, but actually inside I'm saying, okay, I'm ready. I've been waiting for you all day. Let me dive in. Let me tell you all this information that I have for you. So that's it. But I learned to say it in a way, to bring you into that experience so that you're enjoying it too. Not me just throwing a lot of information at you, because you have to understand it. And so you have to be open-minded to receive it. And of course, people know their life better than I do, right? So they're going to know if something's not right. So I always hope that that's like, that they're not saying, oh, yeah, you're good. Man, gosh, you're good. No, that if it was off, if it was wrong, I believe in it. I know they say, no, 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 that's not me. So I believe they would say it. So I'm taking that seriously. Like, no, they say, gosh, that's spot on. I'm right. These days I'm getting, you're absolutely amazing, and, things like that. So my clients are very happy. Their lives are just phenomenal. And they, trust me, they want to live. They want to live. They're not even contemplating their age. Like, oh my gosh, to think that I only have like so many years on it. No, they are like all of the world is opening up to them at their age. So which is beautiful. And they're like, I can do it. Yes. Even the amount of time you're gonna spend enjoying what you're doing, that's already thought about. Yeah. So we have like one of my clients, for example, used to talk about her age a lot, right? Like, oh, my age. But now is more active and gets hit on at the gym in Dubai, and was approached by um a uh, a model. Yeah, it was like, I love your physique. And it's being told, like, it's to say, I'm not sure about my physique, my appearance. I mean, but they do believe, like, I work out a lot. I do CrossFit. Yeah, uh, every, but I understand what level that she's on based on what these people who are in that health world, CrossFit world, gym life are saying to her, men and women. They approach her. So, and which is a difference, is you're like, I'm gonna make friends. It's like meeting a beautiful person who they know what they're, that they have many accolades, but they don't really know, right? That's so beautiful. You meet someone who really doesn't know that they've got it going on, and then watching them, their life, how they open up like a flower, and now they're understanding, like, yeah, yeah, they, like, the work that she puts into herself, because she's the one that does it, is working. So yeah, that's good. Hmm. Yeah, it's a total flip of conversation. You cannot even get away with saying, well, sometimes I'm, you can't even get away with that, because, yeah, now I can always just remind, it's like, well, it didn't stop so and so from walking up and introducing themselves. So let's keep going. Let's see what else this life has to offer. Let's keep living and trust and believe. They want to know. And that's just, one occasion. I believe that everybody is beautiful, and I like to bring that beauty out of people. Yeah, I will bring the beauty out of you. If you like, I don't know, why I should apply, or, what if, I've tried so many times. I'm the psychic that's like, let's turn it around then. Let's flip it. Let's make them like ask you, would you now like to sign this big contract? We're gonna have them say it this time. But like, yeah, she turned me down. Now this same person is like chasing after my one of my clients with bigger contracts than ever before. The first time they met, they basically like at full stop mid sentence. Yeah, we're not hearing it. You have no. Now my client has glowing, like, I mean, gosh, the portfolio is phenomenal, right? Now it's like contacting you, getting you these, big works, and like literally handing, like they only requested you. They don't want anybody else, only you, and this is why. Very like rhythmic and mathematic. Like it was, but politely, my client said, "Well, I would love to do it, but it's far too long, and it would only be right that I fulfill the contract that I have." So my client decided to stay with the contract, and we have been predicting this since months ago. I said it's going to happen in a foreign country. She makes it to the foreign country late, well, about mid October sometime, and it was like, "Are you like?" Because I mean, like every other day, like, "Is there anything for me? Is there anything for me?" As like, this plays out as you're approaching the 14th of November, and 1 week to get to the 14th, it happened. I said, but it's not gonna be just one. It's gonna be several. But she's like, I'm not taking a chance. I'm getting this contract, and that's how that one slipped by. The one that's the bigger one. I mean, that's bigger than everything. You know, that was how she's like, I don't know, did I make the right decision? And I was like, trust, you made the right decision. And there's some personal reasons why um, she felt that the one she's chosen is nothing to blink at. I mean, it's a big one too, but this one was very interesting. It was like a phenomenal, a huge one, and it made her contemplate if she acted too brashly, too quickly. But I love seeing, hearing, clients. The feedback to me is when the client is saying, "Look, all the wonderful things that are is happening within their lives, with things that they're getting." That's the feedback that I really look for. Not like, I mean, it's okay if they say, "Oh yeah, you're fantastic." Like if, like the things you say align, everything you said worked out. Oh, one of my other clients, they're famous. I said, you're gonna be famous. You're gonna rack up all the awards. They were in about three, and I mean, they clean house. It was like their name and then their name again and their name again. They took all the awards, and she was like, "What color should I wear?" I was like, "Please wear red." Like you're gonna clear out. And so like that, like I love doing readings, for people, and seeing like like seeing their lives elevate. Yeah. And it's not 1,000. I'm not making. I'm not. This is no. This is me not throwing stones. But it's not. It's not like. I mean, I'm pretty sure that over time. But I'm just saying, it's not like $1,000. To sit with me. To have these types of readings that can promote healthy life choices, and being in touch with spirit, and attract from the universe to you. So that's, yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway, life is good. Yes, and so yeah, so I'm able to stand on my prayers. I'm able to, what they call it, live in the spirit. I'm on that spirit path world, right smack in the center. So I can actually say, I am a psychic. That is like, what do you do? I'm a psychic reader, a spiritualist, a practitioner, a counselor, advisor of sorts. To some, I may be a minister to others. I'm, their, person who helps to offer foresight, so so I can cover all, I can say it all like that. And it's all true. It's all true. I was thinking about this. I said that, yeah, there are some strange people and like, yeah, I see things, but I'm like, I'm actually contracted to see things. So it's like I might say I am, have a third eye, but I have a contract. You see. I feed into the economy. So in a good way, in a healthy way. Hmm. So yeah. So that keeps me motivated, and it's, again, it's all, it's not. I prefer feedbacks where a person says, if they were to write, got everything that I asked for, period. Like, okay, that's all we needed to know. Oh, wow. You see, that's what I'm talking about. All of the spiritual paths, even Christianity, uh, Judaism, um, who, when I say Hindu, I mean Krishna, like the Bhagavad Gita, I like the way that I interpret the Holy Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament. We're gonna, okay, I read the Apocrypha. I'm gonna read the Quran soon. I dabble with it. I do like it. I like the Quran. Um, like because it's like poetry. So I making it my private intentions to read all the Bibles. So um, I've read all the ones. Okay, the ones that I've read from front to cover. I've read all of the Apocrypha. That's what most recent one. Oh, now that I have the feature to screen share, we can get into some topics. But I know I said I'm going to hold off until memberships. Yeah, but if I need to show you, because we get into some conversations, and sometimes people are wanting to, throw in different types of meanings. Yeah, I could bring it up now. It can show you um, the interpretation, which then we can, talk about, like, okay, your interpretation. We can maybe agree with your interpretation, or we can see, like, okay, so what does it really mean? I like instead of like just looking at one berry, I like to look at all the berries, but in the same chapter. What I'm saying is, instead of just taking one little scripture of the Bhagavad Gita, what I do is read the entire chapter. Not chapters, doesn't take chapters, but the entire chapter because there's a lot of context to understanding what the chapter is about, which helps me to, say, okay, this is why. Like, I love the RE part. Oh, but why? Oh, this is why. And then there it is. There's a context. And then it shouldn't be, oh, like wherever it's decided it applies is not the way it's written. I think of it as like postulates, like for mathematics. And if you like, which is like rules, basically. Proofs and postulates is just rules, and you have to follow the rules. And if you follow the rules, you get a very specific result. And it shouldn't be null or empty space, um, many choices in parentheses. It's just as close to something as you can get it. No, it's like a specific result. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I do want to get into some of that material, but more like I'm holding out. I'm trying to not dive into them until we get into memberships, because I think we can have honest conversations. I'm looking forward to it too. I'm like, I want some of that. I can't wait to talk about some. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna write about these things too. So yeah, you're gonna have written content as well. Um, I was trying to describe that I have this. I discovered this app, right, that will allow me to uh, write and publish the book, right? And oh, it's going to be beautiful because it's state of the art technology. So it's pricey, but it's like a year membership. So yes, it's going to be beautiful. Like the artwork is going to be beautiful. My written content that I've meditated on for years and studied and all of those wonderful things is going to be in the pages, in between the pages. And, I have a I have a wonderful imagination. Let's look at my thumbnails. So, but we're going to up the ante with the art. And, that is what drew me to the app. So, yeah, so then I just add my information and I can, allow illustration to show what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be very like upgrade written forms of content that you will be getting. I don't start until 2026 though. Yeah, it's something that I kind of already shown that I don't really start taking this more serious until then, and then I'll be in a quiet place, and it will be somewhat in the middle of the winter, and the rest of the time I like to write, and then I'm going to share some wonderful information with you, and then we can also have conversations as well. Oh, what I'm describing is an ebook. I will be able to format it and also have images and things like this. So it will still be nice if you happen to like if you request a physical book, but I'm trying to go more aligned with the ebook because of the interactive features. So yeah, that's something that is like an addition to why to join membership. Besides the the level of types of conversations we're going to have around all the books. So like you have here, Judaism, Christian. We're going to say Hindu as well. Hindu, um, but it's not in terms of like to speak about like in a metaphysical or in the Quran. Like if I am speaking about the Quran, I'm speaking about the Quran. If I'm speaking about the Bhagavad Gita, but now I do like to when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I do like to talk about how the Bhagavad Gita specifically aligns to with the Old Testament. I do like to do that though. So I do sometimes kind of say, I've got to like point this out. So, but pretty much, I usually stick within the book. So it's not going to be like, look how we all are connected. It's not that type of conversation, just so you know. But you can definitely see the parallels, 1000%. You can see parallels drawn. Mhm. But it deepens, your wisdom and understanding of the supernatural when we allow ourselves to dare to venture beyond any context. Like if you're coming from the Indians' point of view, the Christians' point of view, I believe that you can deepen your spiritual worth, the value of what scriptures of any book says by having an understanding of like core principles. Like all books say don't harm each other or don't intentionally harm others. Take care of yourself. When that's a universal power, it taps into something more ancestral, especially if you're not maybe not really connected with like your like ancestral lineage, that you can go back and say like, okay, so I read also Celtic astrology. So I study a lot of that space and understand the ruins and so forth on, right? So there's people who will naturally, like just like a Muslim will naturally connect, ancestrally, right? Or or even like the the religions, working with like the spirits, and so forth, orishas. So like, so let's say, well, I found my spiritual path, and then like where do you get your traditions? And so I think that by connecting from on the broader in the broader sense, it especially, okay, having read the full book of both of Old and New Testament, then reading the Bhagavad Gita, for example, deepened my sense of the value of spirit that tapped. I naturally tapped without even, I wasn't even expecting it, into something that was ancestral, along the lines of ancestral, that goes beyond having discovered something only but so many thousands of years ago, but something that can go back as 7,000 years ago. So, or actually 700,000 years. I always get that mixed up. It's 700,000 for us. 500,000 from the 2000 where it's Christianity. Not to say, but it's not to say this is older than Christianity or this is before this. It's not, that's not the subject. The subject is a deeper understanding of something that is ancestral, that connects you at, on a primal level with the supreme idea of what spirit is, what spirit does. So, and I believe I have satisfied that part. I've satisfied that part. Um, that's why I think that when I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita, I think that's why people have the breakthroughs they have. I think people, if they come in and I'm like, they see me just reading scriptures, I think they're like, I don't know what this is. I don't, because it's like sometimes we walk in and we're like immediately like, oh no, let me turn around here and get out of here, because I don't, because you don't know, like, okay, if this person out of their bonkers, are they out of their mind, or are they legit? And then, like, are they even talking about anything? And I don't want to like give them, minutes of my life span if they're not talking about anything with it on top of that. So you have all of these factors of why to immediately, do a 180. But for some reason, when I am talking about the Bhagavad Gita and I'm making comparisons with in conjunction with scriptures, you know, people pull in. People are like, hmm. It's like, because it does do something. Well, what it does has done for me is like it's opened up it, like the innermost part. It's not just a lot of facts in my brain. It's like it's opening up other areas, that, like they said, connects something along the lines of ancestral connections, that like a root connection, um, that sometimes, people say, I just, like, why did they choose a different road? Is because they said they felt no connection, like it was foreign and not theirs. So they followed another spiritual path, and then that's the path that they could connect with. That is along the lines that remind them of like having ancestral lineage, like a lineage. It's what I would hear a lot. That's like commonly used of why people part ways with religions, because it can go both ways. It could be, someone who is Muslim breaking away and becoming Christian, or someone who is Hindu and breaking away, and becoming, a follower of Jesus Christ or something. So I like to more like look at the golden wisdoms. And yes, it's beautiful that, you know um, regarding the deities themselves, or regarding the religion themselves rather than deities. You could say that they are one. It's like they agree. And uh, who could, especially if we're thinking with our college minds, who could refute that? You know, you can you can take the good part, if it is saying something contrary. Now that's the fascinating part that I'm attracted to. The Bhagavad Gita does not have any contraries to the Holy Bible. That's what's so fascinating. That's why I love it. That's why I'm always pointing out the parallels, because other religion, right, is supposed to contradict, um, you know, uh, either all other religions, especially, it would be contradictory to the Old Testament, but instead, the reason why I point out the Old Testament, because it, is stating or agrees. It's like an agreement with the Old Testament. It's like people who read the who read the Quran with in conjunction with the Bible, I would dare say, could go on to read the Bhagavad Gita in accompaniment with the Old Testament and be just fine, perfectly fine at that. That's what I would argue. And of course, people would say, but wait a minute, this is Hindu religion. They're noted to having thousands of different gods. That's what's so interesting about the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is monotheistic. That's what they did not tell us. The actual religion, the Bhagavad Gita it's like the primary. That is the Bible. There, right? The scriptures. In that book, like that, so that was like, it's like equivalent of Christians studying demonology, or Christians studying and worshiping angels. But in the Hindu, that's where in their way, it's all of these demons and angels and lowercase g's, gods. So that's their version of us dabbling. But like Christians, it's monotheistic. As such, also the Bhagavad Gita, Hindu is monotheistic, and completely works in tandem, conjunction with Holy Old Testament scriptures. So this is the kind of things I need to be writing about and talking about in memberships. That's why, like little scripture fights. That's why I'm not trying to get into little scripture fights, because there's something bigger, way bigger, that we've got to talk. Like that peeled back my entire brain. So you can imagine I'm on something different right now. And it's not even about what clicks and makes sense. It's just what is this as plainly spoken as can be read, as though like published it is. That's how I found it. So it was a matter of just like math. They use like math, like numbers. You just put the information where it belongs, side by side, and read it as is. It's just what pick up, plug, and plug in. That's it. It's nothing more than that. I just have read it and know what I'm looking for. Oh. So, and yeah, which helps to bring a different type of vibe, being a card interpreter, of course. So, people ask, so where does the tarot card fit in all this? The tarot card aligns with language, and they align with, what to look out for. Like this card shows up a lot in all Bibles. Just the meaning, the theme of certain parts of conversation, brings about like energies representing like the ancient time, what Scorpio meant, which was power, divide and conquer through death, and divide and conquer, which that's associated with ancient times Scorpio. Um, Also, it tells the story of the New Testament, by the way. And so that's well, see symbols, and then universal symbols. Um, but I enjoy like reading. Of course, that would be like macrocosm, but the down to earth microcosmic things, definitely. The symbol that we're on. Okay, which one was I showing you? Uh, that's why I love this app that I have. I can actually, that symbol right there. That's the traditional tarot, all about relationships right now. Venus. Earlier in the year in the lives, I described how Venus was dominating. She runs two different signs, and so she's operating in Libra right now. Yeah, she's operating in Libra, or she's channeling the personality of Libra, which is dealing with relationships. And so, oh, by the way, this now astronomically speaking, the date started October 30th. So astronomically, we are in Libra, which is one of my last clients. She it's like the second person. I'm sure I've met more, but Scorpio and Scorpios get down. Oh my gosh. So she and her partner are Scorpios having birthdays soon. I didn't go into it with them. I'm like, let them be Scorpio and let them be happy. But they are actually under Libra. It's very slim chance that people are Scorpio. And if you are going to be critical, like very technical, you only have about 6 solar days because our Ophiuchus signs take up most of Scorpio's days. And this is supported by famous astrophysicist Neil deGrasse. I always wanted to say his name like that. And on the woman's side, her name is oh my gosh, I have it. I have her name. I just can't run off the top of my brain, but yes, I can really back it up. She's an astrophysicist, and she represents the women in London. Yeah, that's the card that is represented. Yeah, which is relationships, which that's what she want. They both want, so I just stuck to that conversation. Hmm. It wasn't about like trying to make people change hearts and minds. It was more like, let's first of all let's get them into a happy place. They deserve it. They've been working at this for 4 years, you know. So that was where I channeled my attention. That's what we're going to do, you guys. That's the plan. And I will keep working at it. And who knows, I think that